Hey, nobody's out there, right? Good. I want to say some hateful stuff, but I don't want to be too bad because I'm not going to go to jail. But how do I say this? Basically, I want women off of my mind. I want my exes particularly off my mind, and so I don't know. My brain is weird. Like I have this weird, like elaborate system of like motivating things. Like basically there's this incentive in my mind that I say like maybe if I do this and this, my ex, some ex who will remain nameless will come back. First of all, my ex who will remain nameless, she like put me in jail. She put me in jail, and so I'm not going to write her any more messages because she'll do it again. She'll not, if I give her the ability to like ruin my life, she's kind of demonstrated that she's more than willing to do that. So I'm not going to say anything slanderous, but I will say that she did put me in jail. She did she did fuck like 50 other guys or something since I mean she fucked all these other guys over all this time. And so I'm always going to kind of hate her. I'm not going to do anything bad. I'm not going to write her. But I'm telling that because I know she might watch. She might watch this, and also I just want to put a wrench in any ability that I have to like fancy that's. I want her off my mind, and I want to basically just save a video that makes sure that she's never going to be back. Because kind of what I imagine is just like I'll probably eventually inherit some houses. Like if I outlive my parents, I'll probably inherit some houses, and I know for a fact that like if she or any other woman was suddenly like, now I like you, I'll really hate that person. Like I'll be like, you don't give a shit about me. And if I start being like, oh shucks, I changed my mind, now she loves me, I'm just always gonna know that it's just money. It's just money. And I hate that. I will kind of like hate any woman that kind of comes into my life if I suddenly have houses, because I'll never be able to see that as like love. I'm always just gonna be like, it's just, there's probably no love. It's just shallow shit. It's some sort of, women want handsome, strong men who can provide for them, and then men just want pretty face, big butt, big boobs. And so I'm just like, I don't know. I was listening to some Jocko podcast thing yesterday where he talked about like red pill and black pill, and then purple pill and stuff. And I don't really want to be a misogynist, but just kind of after testing the waters for like 12 years or something in this room, I'm like, oh, it really is kind of like that. I mean, I don't know. At least no woman has ever liked me. And so I can say like, well, why is that? It's like the only factor different is just I'm not handsome anymore, and I don't have a job. And I don't have like job potential. And so if I ever do have job potential, I'm never going to see women as like, oh, they love me. It's always just, it's some kind of like shallow shit. And so I guess the real men in the world, they can like handle that. But I can't handle that. Also, I'm always going to be like freaking out about death. Like it seems like there really are like weak men, and I'm definitely one of them. I'm definitely like, I'm always fucking, I can't imagine, no woman is going to be like save me, my husband, and I'm like, I'm terrified of aging and death. Like, no, that's just not attractive. Like that's not going to be like that's never going to be a man that a woman is clinging on to for like help. And then it's never going to be a dad that somebody would be proud of. And so I've always known that like I have these like really deep-seated weaknesses. I'm just terrified of like life and death to a degree where I can't really function. And even if I had some job, I'd just be like, I'd be like freaking out. You can like see, I swear you can see it in my face. Like, that guy can't function. It's in his fucking face. There's like, it's like freaked out. And that's just inherently not attractive to women. And I also know that I'm never going to be attracted to some like bossy, manly woman who's not hot. And so there's just this weird thing throughout my whole life where I've always been cursed with, I only like hot women. I'm just attracted to like hot women. And so that's fucked. Like that just can't win. Like if I announce that, if I'm really, they say be true to yourself. My true self doesn't work with like reality. Like my true self, the guy who just likes hot women, he shouldn't win. There's no like, he doesn't deserve a woman. If I said, I just love you because you're hot, that can't work. You have to say like, I love you. There's just so many things where it's just like, it can't work. I can't work. And so what am I saying? Just I'm basically saying that just I want my ex off my mind. I just imagine that she's like watching this, like some sort of, I don't know. Basically, I know that she'll put me in jail too. I know she doesn't really care about me. So I don't want to give her any fodder to like put me in jail. I'm not going to harass her. I'm not going to write her any emails. But I know her kind of. All I know is I know she's watching these videos sometimes, and so I know that like I'm being like, please like me, and I know that I'm gonna like try to like cater to her, and I know that I just imagine she's kind of watching like, what are you doing? I have lots of people applying for my vagina. What are you gonna do? And I'm like, I don't want to apply to your vagina anymore because I know myself, and I'm just saying like I'll fuck it up like intentionally. Like I will be a mean person. Like nobody's listening, right? But last night, I made this video where I said really mean things to her, and then I was gonna post it, but then I thought she'll like press charges or something. She'll file like a lawsuit for like harassment or something like that. And like she doesn't like care. Like just the fact that she tried to put you in jail means she doesn't give a shit about you and your life. I'm talking to myself, and so I have to like protect myself. But I know that like. What do I know? I just imagine she's like hanging out. I don't know, but I'm not. Again, I don't want to get sued for slander, but I imagine she could be kind of hanging out here in like limbo, waiting. I'm wondering like why doesn't she just go to Scotland? And she's kind of wondering like, just she wants somebody to like keep her here. I would imagine she wants somebody to like pay for her to live in this area, and she's probably got like several guys, but she's looking at me being like, are you gonna do it? Are you gonna get a real job and provide for me? And I'm like, no, I'm never gonna do that, because I will always know that she doesn't really care about me based on the fact that she had sex with somebody else she didn't tell me. That's basically cheating. And she put me in jail, and also she's just been gone for 12 years. Like even if she came back, I'd be like, where the fuck were you for like 12 years? I was fucking all the cool guys, but now I'm done, and now you can pay for me, and when I'm older and stuff. And it's like even if I fall for that, like I'm trying to say, like if you're watching this, you're wasting your time, because I swear I know myself well enough to know that even if I have like a weak moment and I go like, oh, you came back, like you really do love me, I will fuck it up. Like I will have one moment where I go, you don't fucking care about, and I'll be really abusive, and I'll kick you out, because that's how it was before. I knew that it was just like clinging to me to just have somebody pay for you, and I could always feel like you don't really care about me. And maybe that's just all women. Like maybe the real men of the world, they go, I know she just wants money and security. And so I guess I really have been sort of like I listen to that term red pill and black pill. And also just my life is like behind me now. Like I'm 45. There's just this really depressing feeling like it's kind of over already. Like I'm already dead. Like literally, like what they say, Seneca or something, that some Greek, some guy in the past who was famous, and he said a bunch of wise shit. He said like death, the stuff in your life that's in the past, death already has that. Like I'm already mostly dead. Like my life is 45. There's men my age who are already grandparents, and so yeah, I kind of just hate women. It's not pretty, but I'm like a scarred, damaged, basically misogynist now. And I'm not trying. I'm saying this because I don't want them on my mind. I just want like to admit permanent defeat. I can't really have kids, and I really do kind of like hate all women now. I hate myself for being too weak to just be what they want. I know that they don't want me, and so I kind of just want them like off my mind, and so I just want to like put like a permanent wrench in it, and I'll just call myself a misogynist. I'll just be like, I'm always gonna kind of hate that. I know that I'm not what they want, and I know that they want some stuff that I can't be because I'm too weak and I'm too old and I'm too just not manly. I don't have that thing in my head that you need to have to be like a provider or something. There's something where I know that there's some man who thinks that way, and he's like understands the rules and he's fine with it, and I'm never gonna be that. I'm always gonna be like, they should love me like my parents love me. But and I also know that I'm really shallow. Like I jerk off to hot chicks, and I know there's been like bossy older women who come in and be like, oh, there's like women who are like, I need someone who's gonna save me. I can't like save some other wimpy guy. Women, they want like it seems in general, the hot ones, they want somebody who's gonna help, who's gonna lift them up. But then there's like ugly older bossy women who will like lift you up, but you're like, you don't want to have sex with them. And so it just seems like the whole thing is just totally it was over before it fucking began. This thing was like set into motion from the time I was born. My dad had just really weak stuff that just, I never could have done it. I never could have functioned. I'm always like freaking out, and it's just evidenced by the fact that I've been sheltered by my dad for the whole time because I'm just terrified of like life. And meanwhile, it's just fucking passed me by in this room. So I give up. If I say that and I say like, all right, that's how it really is, and that's how it always will be. It's in the genes, and I'm already too old to fucking have a life. I have to like give up. And so I'm saying this, really just, I'm saying like, if my ex is watching this, if you're waiting for me, or I don't know if you're doing that, but if you're waiting, like I'm wondering like, why don't you just go to Scotland? Why don't you just? I'm sure, like I'm not sure, but I would imagine it's not just me. There's probably just, she's probably holding out for anybody. She's probably taking like applications. It's so awful. What am I trying to say? I don't really know. I don't want to say anything slanderous because I don't want to get sued, but like, I just imagine women are just kind of like, I'm taking applications, and they just give free samples of pussy, and then they go, it's my pussy, I can get what I want for it. And it's just, there's no like love, it's all kind of bullshit. Men too, like I'm shallow also if I think like I just wanted a hot chick, and so that shit just doesn't work. That, if you think about the real nature of life, either I'm screwed up, it's not, I think just humanity is just screwed up. The whole thing is just, there's this thing where men are supposed to find somebody who gives them a boner, and they're supposed to say it has nothing to do with the woman's ability to induce a boner. But if you be with a woman who doesn't induce a boner, that doesn't fucking work. I've done that. And so you have to find somebody who gives you a boner, and you have to say that it has nothing to do with them giving you a boner. And you have to like be selfless, I guess. Like you have to be some man guy who's willing to die for this woman, even if you know she doesn't really care about you, which is kind of how it should be. I realize there's sort of like a women and children first thing. But I already got fucked up. I guess I'm just too cowardly, and also like my mom, she was such a beast. Like my mom just abused the shit out of my dad and just cheated on him and just threw rocks at him and got drunk and called him all the nastiest names. And I was just like, I don't see women as like these damsels in distress. I see them as like the predatory, like the stronger, more ogre-like people, that because that's how my mom was with my dad. And so I'm just like, let's just say I've been red pilled, and it's really just a protection mechanism because I'm too weak, and I know that if I don't die before my dad, I'm probably going to inherit some houses, and I just know I would imagine that like I could be susceptible to be a real sucker. Like suddenly I'll have some houses, then some gold digger bitch will come along and be like, oh, you're so great, and I'll be like, where were you for like 8 years? I was fucking all the cool guys, but now it's gonna be some single mom or some shit, and I'm just gonna be like, you don't give a shit about me, and maybe just nobody gives a shit about anybody. That's the really fucked up thing, is like, I don't want to keep being on my horse, but I just wanted to put a wrench in like any, like, oh, I'll fuck it up. Like, even if you come back, if I have a weak moment, I might fuck you once, but next day I'll say really abusive things, and I will kick you out. Because I know that I'll do that, because last night I made this really abusive video, and I was like, oh, I really have like a lot of hate in me, and that's just gonna spring up, and it's really ugly. My like hate is gonna be some sort of like, it's like I have significant hate towards, you know, just various exes that will remain nameless because they'll sue me if I say some shit. So I'll stay away from her, and I won't message her. I won't message any of her relationship partners. I won't tamper with her life. But just go do your thing. If you're waiting here for me, I don't know why you're watching me at my thing. You might just be watching my thing because you want to see me like lose. So if you want to do that, that's cool. But if you're watching me with some hope of like, if he has money, then I'll be with him. I will, even if I fall for that, like nobody's listening, right? But my therapist, I had this therapist a while ago, and I said, I'm so over my ex, and she just said, come on, if she came for you, you would go to pieces in a second. And I would say, I thought like, I might for one night, I'll fuck it up for sure. And that's, what do they say? Past behavior is a predictor of future behavior. I know that that's true. That's what happened the whole time we were in a relationship, is I would have like a weak moment where I crave her pussy, and then all of a sudden it would just be clear, like she doesn't give a shit about me. And so I would kick her out, and so she'd say, do you want me or not? And it's like, no, I know that you don't care about me, and I'll know that. And it's just evidenced by, after enough lifetime, it's like, that's what happened. You were fucking all these other guys all this time, and you were putting me in jail. And so I know that you don't care. That you've demonstrated lack of care. I've demonstrated lack of care. We're never going to be able to forget that. And so I don't get it. I genuinely I don't understand adult relationships, because it just seems like it's not really based on care. It can't. I mean, it's. I guess I don't know. I don't really know. I guess you're supposed to find, as a man, you're supposed to, first of all, you're supposed to be strong enough to handle adult life, which I'm not. And then if you're strong enough to handle adult life, you're supposed to find some woman who's pretty enough that she can give you a boner. And then you're supposed to like have each other's backs enough, like you're supposed to have enough reciprocity that you find somebody where you do for them and they do for you. And because I just can't imagine that you do for some woman and also she cheats on you. And I get, but that's what my dad did. My dad sort of did for my mom, and she kind of cheated on him and called him trash. And he still did for her, which I just think I'll never be able to do that. And I wonder, like, I wonder, like, why did my dad do that? I guess my dad, I keep thinking, like, back in the day, men, like, just basically weak, terrified men in middle age just didn't have live streaming. They had to cling on to some woman to get rid of loneliness. And now, because of live streaming, weak, loser, middle-aged men can just hang out on live stream all day and just get rid of loneliness. Like, you don't have to cling on to some woman who's like, who else is going to be with you? I'll have another you in a minute. Go ahead, call it another lonely day. Go your own way. And like, men used to be like, no, I'll do whatever you say. But now there's kind of like live stream. It's like, I can just live stream. I can cry to the public. Also, it never would have worked. Like, if I was crying like this to my ex, she would have been like, ugh. I'm sure she's already like that. Any pretty woman is going to be like, ugh, like, be a man. Quit, like, falling apart and freaking out about aging and death. And I'm really freaked out about aging and death. I like this live stream because I can just put I like just being like, I'm not applying to women anymore, which I guess, I know that I can't handle it. And so I like this ability to just be like, I can't do that. But I can, like, just be totally honest and cry on live stream. And so that's really what I'm going to do. I know that about myself. I know that, like, I keep thinking, like, well, I can't do that, like, be a man with wife and kids stuff. But I can say all of my public bullshit on live stream just to get rid of loneliness. And I know some people watch it and be like, yeah, look at this fucking loser. And so let's just keep that up. Okay, I feel better. I don't want this feeling of like applying to my ex. I just want to put a wrench in it and say, like, let's just say you're not even watching, but let's also say if you are watching, there's no fucking chance that I'm gonna be your suitor or something like that. And I'm not saying, I'm just know that that's just, I want the temptation. I don't want some carrot in my head that says, oh, if I do this and this, your ex. I'm just saying, like, even if I got her, I'll fuck it up. Intentionally, I will be abusive or something like that. And so I'm not going to do anything mean now, but just, I'm intentionally kind of like, I just want her off my mind. And I had, like, over the last, like, 10 years, I kind of had her off my mind for a while. And then I just kind of lollygag with the fags. I don't know. I don't want to be mean, but basically I keep thinking, like, if I'm live streaming, so they're not gay necessarily, but there's some people who watch me, and I don't know, it's some trolls and it's some other guys who I guess don't have wife and kids. And so what's the point? They're not fags. Like, I'm not a fag. What am I saying? We're not fags, but we'll just use, I don't know who the hell you are, but, like, I'll speak for myself. I'm not gay, but I'm, like, I'm determined I'm almost gay. Like, last night I was just listening to Jocko podcast, and I realized, like, dude, I am like a terrified, weak man who, like, wants, like, a strong man to, like, comfort me through the night. There's no getting around it. I keep thinking, like, after a certain point of your life, after enough years have gone by, it's kind of like, that's what you did. Like, if you're trying to define yourself, you're like, I don't know, you can say, am I this, am I that? At 45, it's just kind of like, that's what you fucking did. And what I did is I spent many a night sheltered by my dad with Joe Rogan and Jocko playing through the night to get me through the night, which is basically like a gay, I want a strong man to, like, get me through the night. That's just how it is. Like, it's like, that's kind of what I do. And this sounds really fucked up, but I have no reason to lie, because I'm not applying to women, and I'm not even really applying to jobs anymore. I'm not even trying to be good anymore. I have this freedom of, like, okay, the game's over. Like, I can just, like, put my cards on the table, and at least I can get rid of loneliness. But basically, like, I notice if I turn on Jocko podcasts, it's like I'm crying all the time. And then if I turn on Jocko, it's like I have, like, a pacifier. I like a pacifier. It's not some kind of, like, sucking dick thing or something like that. What do you think, Sean? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe back in caveman days, I would have been somebody who like sucked a strong man's dick to survive. What do you think? I don't know. I keep thinking like, is that gay? I mean, that would be gay, but basically, all I know is I've never jerked off to anything like that. Like, there's never been anything appealing about sucking a dick. There's nothing. I've never jerked off to a man. I've never had anything sexually arousing about a man. Like every time I've ever done jujitsu, there's. I think of men as like these barren, like wood people. And so anyway, I don't know. Whatever you want to call it, I don't even care anymore. I don't care about seeming gay. I'm already old, so it doesn't really matter. But basically, like, I don't know. I've never jerked off to a man. I always jerk off to like super hot chicks, but I don't even really jerk off that much anymore. I'm getting like too old to say any of this shit. This is all ridiculous. But I just want to put a wrench in any last little embers of like catering to my ex, because I hate the feeling of like just having women on my mind. I just want them like off my mind and just be like, I just want peace. I want to live like some sort of sexless monk person, like a kid, really. Like I want to kind of live like a kid. That's like, oh, I can do that. Anyway, nobody's listening, right? But I wrote down this thing yesterday where I said, men are like energy. Men compared to energy, women are like matter. What does that mean? I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny. But if you think about, all right, no one's watching, right? I need a tank top. What do I want to say? It really is like a hard pill to swallow, just being like 45 and just realizing that like it really is like over. Like the time period with which I had to have like kids and a family is just gone. Like there's men my age who are already grandparents, and so I know that that's really hard to just be like, there's no future anymore. That's really hard to get motivated. There's kind of like this feeling of like, I kept thinking like, if I do this and this, maybe I can grow into like a stronger person, but I never could have done it. I'm too weak and I have too many. I'm just a shitty man, and it was in the fucking genes. Anyway, I'm tired of thinking about this. Anyway, men and energy. Oh right, so I was saying some analogy about like, I don't know. I don't want to think about this anymore. I just want peace of mind. That's it. I know myself very well. I just want to proceed to death with just a feeling of peace. That's it. I want time to go by, and I just want all this agitation and like hatred of myself and thinking about the past and just hatred toward my ex. But anyway, the point of this video is just to clear up anything. I'm not trying to be. I'm not going to harass my ex because I know she'll try to put me in jail or some shit. But I just want to put a wrench in. I just, on the off chance that my ex is watching this, being like, "I'll be with you if you have money." I'm probably never going to have money. But even if I ever have money, I will fuck up anything that ever gets like if you come over here, I might sleep with you for one night, and I'll be abusive. I'll say some nasty thing and I'll kick you out. Just like we did when we were in a relationship, because I'll know that like you don't really care about me. You just want somebody. If you're with me after 12 years of fucking other guys and then I have a house and now you're with me, it's clearly just about the house, and I will never look at that as anything other than just me being used, and I don't want that. I won't be happy with that. I know that like you probably think like you'll take me back. No, you won't. Your spell is only really going to work for like another like 5 years anyway, or something like that. Like eventually everybody gets ugly, and there's no care. That was the whole problem with the relationship, is we don't really care enough about each other as like humans. It was all kind of shallow shit. Like, I liked you because I don't want to be abusive, but really like every woman I ever said like I'll marry you, they just happen to be beautiful. And so I think like it shouldn't even, I'm a terrible person also. Like that shouldn't win. There's no I feel like humans are shallow, but it has to be shallow or else it doesn't work. But then also, if it's shallow, it's just inherently reprehensible. Like, I just feel like the whole nature of male-female relationships is just inherently kind of evil and reprehensible. And so I look at it from some childlike perspective. I'm like, I just want to be pure. I want to be some pure, like, monk, like, childish, incel, whatever, incel. I just want to have, I want to be there's some kind of purity to just getting sex and women off the brain until I go to sleep. When I go to sleep, I'll jerk off to some hot chicks, but the chicks I jerk off to, I'll never have to drive them anywhere. I won't have to pay for anything. And whatever guy gets the hot chick, I might be envious for a second, but then I realize he's paying for it. He's paying for it. They can fucking have it, because I know it takes a lot of fucking pay. It takes so much fucking money to pay for. It's not really worth it. What do they say? The juice is not worth the squeeze. And so I just want to get. I want my ex off my mind, and I'm going to do that. But I'm going to save this video, and I'm just going to pretend that she watched this, or she could always watch this. And so I'm going to put a wrench in any plan. I'm going to tell myself I fucked up any ability. Like, what I said, some like, oh, I love you, whatever. But now I'm saying like, I hate you, and I'll fuck it up. I'll change my mind, just like I'm changing my mind now. If things are really important, I'll definitely change my mind. I will backtrack, and I'll say, I'll kick you out just like we did before. And it's just, even if I cave into lust, I will always look at it as basically just, you don't like me, you just want my money because you put me in jail and you cheated on me. And so I'll always remember that, and I'll always hate you for it. And that's just gonna spring up. And even if I have like, oh, it's, what do I say? It's not binary. That's the problem. Is it's not like absolute. There's kind of like a thing where sometimes I'm like, oh, like, you know, the things I say in the nice part are kind of true, but the things I say in the evil part are also true. And there's just too much evil now. There's too much hatred, too much negative past, and just too much time lost. Like, we're already too old. And if I can't have kids, there's just no point anymore. And so I just want to peacefully proceed to the grave and just have women off my mind, and just lollygag with fags, lollygag with there's some other dudes who are just, for whatever reason, are not with women. I don't judge you though. I sort of think like, yeah, I can't really handle women either. And also I just think it's not worth it. Like, if women are basically like, I'll take the bad boy cool guys or some dork to pay for me. I'm never going to be the dork to pay for you. And so I'm never going to be strong. And so I know that that's just not enough to penetrate. Actually, let's read this thing. I was reading this before. I think it's kind of funny. Men is compared, so nobody's listening, right? But if you compare, men are kind of like energy. Women are kind of like matter. This is a dorky physics analogy, but I've been learning about physics, and matter is translated as the ability to do work. Men as energy can stereotypically be valued by their ability to do work. Women as matter. So women are like matter, right? There's matter and energy. Women are like matter. They can stereotypically be valued by their physicality and their level of attraction. So the more matter they are, the more womanly they are. The more womanly they are, the based on their physicality, they're gonna have more or less attraction, just like matter. Their level of attraction. There's so many parallels here, but their level of attraction, depending on how good their physicality is, they're gonna have more level of attraction, just like matter. And then that's gonna invite more ability to do work from men in the form of energy. They're gonna attract energy from men. So right now I'm putting out energy for my ex. My ex is attractive. It's generating a lot of ability to do work. But there's weak energy and there's powerful energy. energy comes on, like electromagnetic energy. There's weak versions of it, which is basically like radio waves, and then there's fucking X-ray gamma waves. And so women generally, for weak energy is not likely to penetrate by power. So women, basically, that's a great parallel, but I'll try to explain this. Women matter that attracts both men and women. So women have attraction based on their physicality. It's going to attract both men and women. But when matter attracts matter, it usually leads to conflict, but some energy can penetrate. So the energy, like men are energy, right? So energy, it's always going to want to go to the most highly attractive matter. So there's energy going through the universe. It's going to get, it's going to sometimes penetrate highly attractive matter, but if it's weak energy, it's going to be less likely to reach and penetrate highly attractive matter. But if it's on the same wavelength, if their wavelengths are compatible in such a way where they can penetrate, they might get to penetrate. Some energy penetrates matter, some misses, and some goes out into space. Energy's ability to penetrate depends on its power and its wavelength, compatibility with matter. Most energy is birthed from matter that had enough attraction for a nuclear reaction. So most energy and most mass comes from matter, which means that like men and women tend to come from women. Yeah. Most energy is birthed from matter. We've said that. Energy eventually dissipates over time if it's not absorbed, but it can get more powerful if it focuses. So men, their power is going to dwindle over time. Just like me, I'm getting older and less valuable. And so eventually it just dissipates out into the cold of space. But energy can get more powerful if it focuses. So energy from the time of its inception, it's typically, its wavelength is kind of defined when it starts, but over time it can get more powerful. Matter, women on the other hand, it's such a true analogy that you can ask. These are all verified on ChatGPT. Matter's level of attraction is typically defined at its birth, though. So basically, like if matter is very attractive, it's going to be attractive based off of its physicality, basically meaning how much mass it has. And that's defined during its birth and continues through its life cycle. It might eventually lose matter, but typically it's not going to like gain matter throughout its lifetime. So its attraction is kind of defined at birth, which kind of seems true in the case of women too. Their potential for hotness is kind of like usually in the genes. But men, on the other hand, energy, if they're weak, they're going to be weak through their whole life. But if they focus, it says like energy can become more powerful if it focuses. And if it focuses, it should focus. What did I say? Energy can, I forget, but something like energy, if it focuses, it should focus to its fundamental properties. So basically like a radio wave should be a radio wave. Yeah. Weak energy focuses most effectively when focusing mechanism is optimized for its specific wavelength. So basically that means that like if you're a wavelength, focus on your wavelength thing. If you're a gamma ray, be a really good gamma ray. But if you're a gamma ray, don't try to be a radio wave. If you're a radio wave, don't try to be a infrared. If you're infrared, focus on infrared to be 100% the best infrared. Just do infrared shit all day long. Then you can be more powerful. That's your. So can you all of these are substantiated by ChatGPT. It doesn't necessarily mean that much because obviously men are not energy and women are not matter. But there's so many parallels that it's really weird. Yeah, energy can also be a catalyst to more energy. So like if you're a nerdy guy, you can start a company. Energy can employ and cause a chain reaction in other energy, which can make it more powerful. So basically like a nerdy guy, he might be nerdy and pathetic, and that's on its own, it's not conducive to penetrating highly attractive matter. But if it can get more powerful, and it can get more powerful basically by causing a catalyst of energy in other energy, which means you can be a nerd guy, you could start a company, you can get a bunch of people to work for you and capitalize and get more powerful that way. But if you're weak energy, your ability to penetrate highly attractive matter, it's not going to be based off of other, like the under, it's not going to be based off of your powerfulness. It's going to be based off of your wavelength being compatible with that matter's wavelength. And that's basically, in order to penetrate any kind of matter, you have to have enough power to reach that. There has to be luck and enough power to reach the matter that you're trying to penetrate. And then your wavelengths have to be similar. So even if you're really powerful, if you reach some incompatible matter, if your wavelengths are not compatible enough to allow for penetration, it's just not gonna work. It's either gonna bounce off or it's gonna pass by or something like that. And so, anyway, it's kind of interesting. Energy's ability to penetrate is enhanced by its power. We already said that. Energy can, however, sometimes penetrate highly attractive matter. Energy can change its wavelength through various processes. I was gonna learn that, but I got lost. There may be less penetration later over all energy and mass because they're getting isolated. Anyway, that's all I got. Now, do you really want to post this? Yeah, I'm gonna post this. There's kind of like this knot in my throat which says like, now this is all in my head. Everything I'm doing basically is just trying to like organize my brain to like function. And there's just this agitation of just like, I already fucked up my life and I just want women off my mind. I want this. There's this craving where I start like, what am I trying to say? Long story short, like I've gone through this many other times in my life. And when my ex initially got a restraining order and broke up with me, again, like I was just trying to like be like, all right, I lose at life. Let me just have like a peaceful, like doing my little activities till the grave. And then I would suddenly be like, no, I want pussy. Oh my God, like, what do I have to do? I have to be more of a man. Like, I should get a job. And then I would go, there were these weird years over the last 10 years where I was like, I'll do it, I'll be a man. And I would go to some like horrible job. Basically, again, women are energy. So they have attraction. Basically, there's some pussy or imagined pussy that men have in their mind that makes men go like, oh, I should go get a job. Like, and so women are basically like these like, also women don't move generally. Like the women basically are inert, just like matter. They're inert and they're just gonna sit there, and their attractiveness is gonna set into motion all these like energy that's gonna get stuck in their tractor beam. And I just hate that feeling. I hate the feeling of being stuck in orbit of some pussy and just being like, I'm being controlled by, basically I know that like, and basically every time I think to myself I'm going to get a job and I'm trying to become more employable, if it's not something that I want to do, if it's not coming from my desire to do that, I'm stuck in potential pussy's tractor beam. Like there's pussy, there's like, I'll do whatever the women want, I'll go get money. Then life is horrible. There's just this horrible feeling of like being stuck in some woman's asshole or something like that. There's some like feeling of like you're now one of many fools who is like trying to be the suitor for some woman by just doing a bunch of awful shit with the only time of your life to make money. And I'm just like, I want purity of that. I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing, it's not like, I hope I can get rich so some woman will fuck me. I just want to be like, you know what, I don't want to be pulled by the attraction of various matter out there, which I think my conclusion is anytime that I'm ever doing anything that's not like my God-given dream, like basically if I'm not doing anything that's conducive to being a professional artist, like in the past over the last 5 years, where like I just want to get an IT job, I just want to get some job that makes money, that's exclusively being pulled by pussy. I'm stuck in my life is being directed around by trying to be eligible for pussy, and I just want to fuck it up. I just want to say I don't even care about pussy. I don't even want it, and I'm almost gay enough to be like totally fine with that. I'm like weak energy, and so weak energy, it's not as driven by desire for pussy. Like weak energy, even highly attractive matter, it doesn't have as much of a pull on it. And so basically, like if I just kind of stay away from pussy, I can be free off in space to just adventure around and have like little silly adventures, as long as I basically stay away from pussy, particularly highly attractive pussy. Can you substantiate that? So there's testing. So there's matter out there. There's matter. Matter is matter has a gravitational testing. I love it. I love it when nothing works. I love it. Testing. Test. You fucking piece of shit. Test. Anyway, I don't care. Whatever. What am I trying to say? Just basically, as weak energy, it's not going to be as attracted to any matter. And so if I can just stay away from women, basically, I'm not going to be stuck in their pull. I'm not going to be catering to their gravity. And that's kind of like a good life. There's kind of like a good, like peaceful, like just float off into space type thing. It's worth noting, I asked that too. I said like some energy, it gets absorbed or penetrates into matter, right? So like energy that comes from the sun and reaches Earth, it penetrates Earth. And some penetrates matter for a while and then goes past it and goes off into space. And a lot of energy just floats off into the vacuum of space. And I said, like, is that like a waste? Like I asked ChatGPT, like, if the matter just goes off into space, is that just basically a big waste of energy? And it said, no, no energy is wasted. Like even the energy that doesn't penetrate matter anymore, which is basically an old man like me who's unmarried, they're still shining. Their energy is still absorbed by other energy and other matter, and just helps in the general ecosystem of the universe as like microwave background radiation or something like that. So basically, like, there's a principle called the law of conservation, which is basically that no energy is lost. It's gonna be used for something. So basically, like, I know that if I just kind of live stream like this, I can kind of radiate my energy, and it's gonna get picked up by somebody. There's gonna be some people who go like, "Oh, that's kind of a cool idea," or "You were good for motivating me or entertaining me, or just repelling me. You showed me like how not to be." The energy is gonna be used for something, but it's not gonna penetrate matter anymore. Once it's off into the vacuum of space, it's kind of just gonna keep going and it's gonna get like weaker and weaker and weaker. And so that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna get weaker and weaker and weaker. My days of penetration are over, but I can still be useful as a background radiation. And none of it's lost. It's all if you ask ChatGPT, it's all useful, but just not for penetration of matter anymore. So it's point. So I'm declaring that now. I'm basically saying, like, I just want my ex off my mind, and I just want to float off into space and chill out. And so let's get back to that. All right.